Hello everybody and welcome back to the football betting series here on YouTube, Premier League edition. We're rounding off the month of March with a healthy little winning streak. We're just waiting on the Serbia result at time of recording, but we have cashed out our threefold for a £22 profit. This episode we're moving on to the month of April with some Premier League selections for you here today. Don't forget to check out the pinned comment down below for La Liga and Serie A action. So without further ado, let's start off with bet number one. We kick today's episode off with second place Manchester City hosting sixth place Liverpool in what is probably the biggest game of the weekend in Europe. Recently hitting Burnley for 6 in the FA Cup, and before that Red Bull Leipzig for 7 in the Champions League. These results continued a run of 6 wins straight, and the Citizens are now on top of a 10-game unbeaten streak. In the Premier League, Manchester City are scoring 2.5 goals per game and creating 3.6 key chances per 90. Defence is looking strong, 0.9 goals against and 10 clean sheets in their 27 games played to this point. The away side, Liverpool, are coming off the back of the defeat to Real Madrid. They lost 1-0, capping off a 6-2 aggregate defeat to crash out of the Champions League. The Reds are now without a win in their last 2, since their 7-0 anomalous win against Manchester United. In the Premier League, Liverpool are scoring 1.8 goals per game, despite creating 3.2 key chances per 90, defensively conceding 1 goal per game, 10 clean sheets in 26 Premier League matches. When we look at the head-to-head record, Man City won the most recent fixture by 3-2 in the FA Cup. But despite this, Liverpool do have a strong record against Man City. They were unbeaten in the previous 5 games against the reigning champions. However, it's pretty hard to call a winner here. I would lean City at home, but in all likelihood, Erling Haaland may miss this game, and I'm not sure how they're going to respond to losing 41% of their goals in the Premier League with him out. Perhaps paradoxically, I do like goals in this one, specifically the over 2.5 goals. Manchester City have seen over 2.5 goals in 5 of their last 6 games. However, for Liverpool, it's not quite as strong, just 1 in their last 5 in getting over this mark. However, when we look at the head-to-head record, 6 of the last 7 games have seen over 2.5 goals, and both sides create a lot of chances. It's just, can Liverpool convert theirs? I can easily see Man City or Liverpool winning 2-1. City could push this to a 3-0, but we'll see how Haaland's injury affects things. If Liverpool get on the scoreboard, I have no doubt in this coming in. Over 2.5 goals in the opening bet of today's episode. Pressing on with bet number 2, we have 19th place Bournemouth playing host to 9th place Fulham. And Bournemouth lost 3-0 against Aston Villa in their most recent match before the international break. This does mean they have won 1 of their last 4 games in what was rather a freaky result against Liverpool, a game in which Mo Salah's penalty miss was crucial. The Cherries are scoring just 0.9 goals per game and creating 1.1 key chances per 90. Defence is concerning, conceding 2 goals per game with 6 clean sheets in 27 matches. The away side, Fulham, would have been pretty happy to see the international break arrive when it did. Their most recent fixture saw Willian, Mitrovic and manager Marco Silva all sent off as the Cottagers threw away their FA Cup tie against Manchester United, going on to lose the game 3-1. This was the 3rd straight loss for Fulham, who are scoring just 1.4 goals per game in the Premiership, from 1.7 key chances per 90. Defensively conceding 1.4 goals against and 8 clean sheets in 27 matches. When we look at the head-to-head record, we've had 3 consecutive draws, including the 2-2 result in the first half of the season. If we look a little bit closer at this game, Fulham would have been pretty disappointed not to come away with a result. They held almost 70% of the possession and doubled the Cherries' XG. But alas, it was Bournemouth that made their chances count and they escaped West London with a draw. A final thing to look at is the respective home and away forms. Bournemouth have the 18th best home record in the Premiership, 4 wins, 4 draws and 5 defeats for just 16 points from 39 games, and only 1 win in their previous 5 home fixtures. The away side Fulham are ranked number 7 on the away form record, 5 wins, 2 draws and 6 defeats for 17 points from a possible 39. For the reasons outlined to this point in the video, I will lean for Fulham to pick up a result away from home. I was flirting with a straight Fulham win on the road for maybe a half stake, but in light of the suspension of Mitrovic and Willian, who in my opinion has been the best player for Fulham this season, I will actually lay Bournemouth at home for a full stake at around the 1-2 mark in bet number 2. Our third and final selection in today's episode sees 18th place West Ham playing host to 20th place Southampton in a relegation scrap. West Ham's recent Premier League game was a pretty solid 1-1 draw against Aston Villa. And despite this positive result, though, the Irons have only won one game in their last 6 domestic fixtures. The Hammers are scoring 0.9 goals per game despite creating 1.5 key chances per 90, conceding at a rate of 1.3 goals against and 5 clean sheets in 26 matches. The Saints make the short trip to East London off the back of a poor run of form themselves. They're winless in their last 3 games, although they may feel a little bit positive about their most recent fixture as they managed to rescue a late result against Spurs. I'm sure a lot of people enjoyed Conte's post-match interview. Southampton scored just 0.8 goals per game and create 1.4 key chances, defensively conceding at a rate of 1.6 goals against and just 4 clean sheets in 28 Premier League matches. When we look at the head-to-head record, Southampton are unbeaten in their last 4 matches against West Ham, including the 1-1 draw earlier this season. So you may lean towards Southampton in this one, but I'm not really convinced about the Saints this season. I like the goals market again, but this time for the unders. When we look at West Ham's recent games, they have seen 4 of their last 6 fall under 2.5 goals. For Southampton, this is 5 of their last 6. Under 2.5 goals is the direction I'm thinking of going in, but we're going to temper it with a half stake because both these sides struggle to keep clean sheets as well. Under 2.5 for a half stake. So there we have it, 3 selections in today's episode in the Premiership, starting off with the biggest game of the weekend, Manchester City versus Liverpool, over 2.5 goals, odds of about 7/10, £20 stake to return 13.80. Next up, Bournemouth versus Fulham. We're going to be laying Bournemouth for odds of about 6/10, £20 stake to return 11.40. And then a single selection on the Sunday, the relegation scrap, West Ham Southampton under 2.5 goals, odds of about 4/5, £10 half stake to return £8.40. So across the weekend, we're going to be risking £50 sterling to hopefully pick up as much as £33.60. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into next episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below. And don't forget to check out the pinned comment for the Serie A and La Liga action. And as always, have yourself a lovely day.